Motivation has an expiration date. Day one feels incredible. New goal, new plan, new version of you. You buy the notebook, download the app, maybe even wake up at 5 a.m. And for a few days, you actually believe this time is different. Then something weird happens. A week later, the same goal that felt exciting suddenly feels heavy. You don't hate it. You still want the result. But that energy is gone. And this is where most people make a dangerous assumption. I guess I'm just not disciplined. But that may not be what happened at all. Part of what changed was simply this: it stopped being new. New goals come with uncertainty. A new routine has possibilities. A new project might change your life. And your brain pays attention to things that are new, surprising, and potentially rewarding. Reward learning research shows that our brain responds differently when rewards or outcomes are unexpected versus already predicted. Novelty and curiosity can also help energize exploration and engagement. Think about buying a new video game. For the first few days, you want to play it constantly. But imagine opening the exact same level every morning for 6 months. Nothing is necessarily wrong with the game, your brain just knows what's coming. Goals can work the same way. At first, going to the gym isn't only exercise, it represents possibility. You imagine the body you could have, the confidence, the compliments, the transformation. Your brain isn't experiencing just today's workout, it's experiencing the fantasy of where this could lead. But then Tuesday becomes Wednesday, Wednesday becomes Thursday, and eventually, it's just leg day. That doesn't mean the goal stopped mattering. It means the excitement stopped doing the work for you. And that difference is huge because a lot of us accidentally build our goals around a feeling. I'll study when I feel focused. I'll work out when I feel motivated. I'll save when I feel responsible. I'll start the project when I'm inspired. But feelings are terrible schedules. You can deeply want something and still not feel like doing it tonight. Researchers study self-regulations have argued that wanting the end goal is only part of sustained engagement. The experience of the activity itself, whether it remains interesting or satisfying, can matter too. So what happens when the excitement disappears? This is part of nobody wants to hear. The boring part becomes important. Not because you need to suffer, not because successful people are robots, but because eventually your behavior needs another trigger besides emotion. Imagine two people want to start running. The first person says, I'm going to run more. The second says, after I get home from work, I'll change my shoes and walk outside for 10 minutes. Those sound almost identical. They aren't. One person has a wish, the other person has a cue. Psychologist Peter Golowitz called plans like these implementation intentions. Instead of only saying what you want to do, you connect the behavior to a specific situation. If this happens, then I do this. Research on implementation intentions has found that linking a future situation to a specific response can improve the chances that intentions actually become action. That means, after I brush my teeth, I read 5 pages. When my paycheck arrives, $50 goes to savings. At 7 p.m., I open the laptop and write for 10 minutes. After lunch, I walk around the block. Now, you don't need to hold an argument with yourself every day. The situation begins answering the question for you. And something else begins happening. Repetition starts changing the behavior. In a well-known real-world habit study, participants chose a simple eating, drinking, or activity behavior and repeated it in the same daily context. Over time, many of those behaviors became more automatic. Not instantly, not because of one perfect week, and definitely not because everyone magically forms a habit in exactly 21 days. The process varied substantially between people and behaviors. That matters because you may have been judging yourself during the exact period when the behavior was supposed to feel difficult. You start working out, day 1 feels amazing. Day 4 feels annoying. Day 10 feels inconvenient. So you conclude, this isn't working. But you might be comparing two completely different stages. At first, novelty helps pull you forward. Later, repetition has to carry more of the load. And eventually, the goal is for starting to require less negotiation. That means the moment motivation disappears isn't necessarily when your plan failed. It may be when the real plan finally begins. So instead of asking, how do I stay motivated every day? Try asking 3 different questions. What will trigger the behavior? Not when I have time. What actual movement? After breakfast? When you get home? The second your paycheck hits? What is the smallest version I'll still do on a bad day? Because your perfect routine is almost useless if it only survives perfect conditions. If an hour at the gym feels impossible, do 10 minutes. If 20 pages feels impossible, read 2. If saving 500 isn't realistic, save something. The smaller version isn't there to impress you. It's there to keep the pattern alive. And finally, can I make starting easier? Put the shoes by the door. Open the document before you go to bed. Remove the shopping app from your home screen. Automate the transfer. Prepare the environment before your future tired brain gets a vote. Because discipline doesn't always look like forcing yourself through misery. Sometimes discipline looks suspiciously like making the right behavior easier to begin. And this changes the way you should think about losing motivation. You're probably going to feel excited again. New goal, new month, new year, new notebook. That feeling is useful. Use it. Let it get you moving. But don't build your entire future on keeping that feeling alive. Because the goal isn't to stay permanently inspired. The goal is to build something that can survive the days when you aren't. Motivation gets you started. But what you repeat when motivation disappears is what actually changes you.